It's October 23, 2025, yet France is sweltering under an intense heat wave. Cities like Paris and Nice are experiencing July-like temperatures, disrupting daily life. The relentless heat lingers into the night, turning urban areas into heat traps. Residents seek shade, and outdoor activities are curtailed. This isn't just unusual weather, it's a challenge to how we live and interact with our environment. The heat wave's volatility is evident, with sunny days often leading to sudden thunderstorms. These storms bring risks, like flash flooding, adding to the precarious situation. The pattern of extreme heat, followed by severe weather, highlights our changing climate. Communities must navigate this new reality of increasing uncertainty. The heat wave is a stark reminder of the climate challenges we face. A heat wave is a prolonged period of unusually hot weather, often lasting several days or even weeks. It's a time when temperatures soar well above what is considered normal for a particular region and season, making daily life uncomfortable and sometimes even dangerous for everyone. It's not just about experiencing a single hot day. What truly defines a heat wave is the relentless persistence of high temperatures, day after day. This ongoing heat is what makes heat waves particularly hazardous, as it gives little chance for people, animals, and even infrastructure to recover. For a period to be classified as a heat wave, both daytime and nighttime temperatures must remain unusually high for several consecutive days. The heat doesn't let up, even after the sun goes down, which is a key factor in the severity of a heat wave. This constant warmth disrupts the natural rhythm of cooling that usually happens at night. Without this relief, our bodies struggle to recover from the day's heat, leading to increased heat stress and discomfort. Warm nights, often called tropical nights, prevent the body from cooling down and recharging. This can cause exhaustion, especially for vulnerable groups like the elderly, children, and those with health conditions. It's important to remember that a heat wave is relative. What might be a normal summer temperature in one region can be considered extreme and dangerous in another. Local climate and what people are used to play a big role in how a heat wave is experienced. High temperatures put tremendous strain on systems. Power grids work over time as people use fans and air conditioning, and our bodies must work harder to stay cool, increasing the risk of heat-related illnesses. Heat waves are a sign that the atmosphere is holding an unusual amount of energy. This can fuel other extreme weather events, making the environment even more unpredictable and challenging. The intense heat dries out vegetation, turning fields and forests into tinderboxes, and creating perfect conditions for wildfires to ignite and spread rapidly. At the same time, heat waves cause water to evaporate quickly, leading to shortages, restrictions, and empty reservoirs, which can impact agriculture and daily life. Understanding heat waves means recognizing their complex and far-reaching impacts. They affect not just the weather, but also our health, safety, environment, and even the economy. Heat waves are powerful natural events with significant consequences. Being aware of their dangers and knowing how to stay safe is essential for everyone, especially as these events become more frequent and intense. Paris and Nice are under siege from an unrelenting heat wave, their streets and skylines shimmering beneath a relentless sun. The air is thick, heavy, and almost tangible, pressing down on everyone who ventures outside. In both cities, daily life has been transformed as residents adapt to the extreme conditions, seeking shade wherever they can find it, and moving more slowly through the sweltering afternoons. Paris, the city of light, is now a city of intense sun, with its iconic, heat-absorbing buildings radiating warmth long after sunset. The elegant boulevards and historic facades, usually bustling with life, now seem to shimmer and blur in the oppressive heat, as if the city itself is wilting under the sun's glare. The urban heat island effect means there's no true escape from the heat, even at night. The stone and concrete trap warmth, turning evenings into a restless struggle for comfort. Residents fan themselves on balconies, windows thrown open in search of a breeze that never comes, while the city glows eerily under the haze. Fountains become essential cooling stations, offering rare moments of relief. Children splash and play, while adults gather around the water, grateful for any respite from the relentless temperatures. These public spaces transform into lifelines for overheated Parisians. In Nice, the story is different but equally challenging. High humidity from the Mediterranean creates a stifling, almost suffocating environment. The air feels thick with moisture, making every movement feel heavier, and sweat clings to skin even in the shade. The famous Promenade des Anglais, usually alive with tourists and locals, now sees far fewer crowds. The oppressive heat drives people indoors, leaving the beachfront eerily quiet, the sun beating down on empty walkways and deserted sands. Both cities, though so different in character and geography, highlight how heat waves affect diverse environments. Paris's dense urban sprawl and Nice's coastal charm each face unique challenges, but both are united by the struggle to cope with extreme weather. Paris's tightly packed buildings amplify the heat, creating pockets of stifling air, while Nice's proximity to the sea brings humidity that lingers day and night. The contrast is striking, yet the discomfort is shared. Both cities are struggling with a climate hotter than their infrastructure was ever designed to handle. Plants wilt in window boxes, metal railings burn to the touch, and public transport becomes a test of endurance for overheated passengers. The contrast between blindingly sunny days and sudden dramatic stormy nights only adds to the sense of unease. The weather can shift in moments, keeping everyone on edge and uncertain. Sudden downpours in Paris and fierce thunderstorms in Nice illustrate the volatility of this new climate reality. Streets flood quickly, and people scramble for cover, never sure when the next weather event will strike. This instability makes it difficult for residents and officials to prepare. Weather alerts flash on phones, city officials monitor forecasts around the clock, and everyone is left wondering how to adapt to a world where the climate is increasingly unpredictable. Extreme heat waves are not just a coincidence, they are being supercharged by human-induced climate change. In recent years, cities across France and the Mediterranean have experienced record-breaking temperatures, with heat waves arriving more frequently and lasting longer than ever before. These events are not isolated, they are part of a larger, global pattern. The main driver behind this trend is the burning of fossil fuels, which releases vast amounts of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. These gases act like a blanket, trapping heat and preventing it from escaping into space, causing the planet to warm at an unprecedented rate. As a result, our weather patterns are shifting. The baseline for what we consider normal weather is changing, making extreme heat waves not only more likely, but also more severe. What was once rare is now becoming the new normal. Scientific attribution studies have shown that many of the recent devastating heat waves in France and across Europe would have been virtually impossible without the influence of climate change. The evidence is overwhelming and continues to grow. One striking effect is the rise of so-called tropical nights, day and days bites, where temperatures remain uncomfortably high even after sunset. Nights are now warming faster than days, leaving little relief from the heat and putting extra stress on people's health. The lack of nighttime cooling means our bodies never get a chance to recover, leading to cumulative heat stress. Vulnerable groups, such as the elderly and young children, are especially at risk during these prolonged hot spells. Year after year, temperature records are shattered. In 2024, France experienced its hottest year on record, a milestone that scientists warn could soon be surpassed if current trends continue. This relentless warming is directly linked to the accumulation of heat-trapping gases in our atmosphere, which also contribute to air pollution and poor air quality in cities. If we do not take meaningful action to reduce emissions, heat waves will only become more frequent, more intense, and more dangerous. The impacts will be felt not just in cities, but across the countryside, fueling wildfires and droughts. The rising heat is a clear symptom of a much larger problem, one that demands urgent and collective action from governments, businesses, and individuals alike. The science is clear. To protect our future, we must address the root cause of climate change by cutting emissions and transitioning to cleaner, more sustainable energy sources. The time to act is now. Heat waves disrupt daily life and pose serious health threats. In France, school closures protect children from overheating classrooms. Water shortages lead to restrictions, affecting households and agriculture. Farmers face crop failures, threatening food supplies and livelihoods. Wildfires become a constant danger, destroying homes and habitats. Smoke from fires affects air quality, posing health risks far from the flames. Heat strains infrastructure, with power grids and transportation systems at risk. Electricity demand soars, risking blackouts, while railways and rivers face disruptions. These cascading failures show how interconnected our society is. A single climate stressor can trigger multiple problems, highlighting vulnerability. The human toll of heat waves is a pressing issue that demands attention. Heat waves pose a serious health threat, especially to the vulnerable. The elderly are at high risk due to diminished temperature regulation and isolation. Young children depend on caregivers to stay safe and hydrated. People with pre-existing health conditions face heightened danger. Heat exacerbates cardiovascular and respiratory issues, turning chronic conditions into emergencies. Social and economic factors also play a role in vulnerability. Outdoor workers face extreme risk while low-income neighborhoods lack cooling resources. Urban heat islands worsen conditions for those with fewer resources. The heat wave is a social justice issue, disproportionately affecting the vulnerable. Protecting these groups is crucial during extreme heat events. The risk is not shared equally, highlighting the need for targeted interventions. France's heatwave is part of a larger European pattern of extreme weather. Neighboring countries like Spain and Italy face similar conditions. Climate change doesn't respect borders. Atmospheric patterns affect vast areas. Germany and the Netherlands have seen temperature records tumble. The Rhine's low water levels disrupt trade, affecting economies continent-wide. Melting glaciers in the Alps threaten water security for millions. The scale of the crisis demands a coordinated international response. Individual countries can protect citizens, but global action is needed for emissions. The heat is a shared threat requiring a shared solution. Europe's heat waves underscore the need for collective action on climate change. The costs of recurring heat waves are immense and rising. Wildfires devastate ecosystems, releasing carbon and accelerating climate change. Emergency response and healthcare costs strain resources. Insurance payouts for property damage and crop failures increase premiums. Productivity suffers as outdoor work halts and indoor efficiency drops. Agriculture faces lower yields and higher food prices. Tourism uncertainty grows as extreme heat deters visitors. Infrastructure damage from heat requires costly upgrades. The economic burden of inaction on climate change is significant. The price is paid in real money every time a heat wave strikes. Addressing climate change is crucial to mitigate these costs. The impacts of climate change are clear. Action is needed. We must cut greenhouse gas emissions through mitigation. Transitioning to renewable energy is essential to prevent worsening heat waves. Adaptation involves rethinking urban design for cities like Paris and Nice. Planting trees, creating green spaces, and using reflective materials can help. Upgrading buildings with better insulation and cooling systems is vital. Protecting vulnerable populations requires robust public health plans. Public cooling centers and systems to check on at-risk individuals are crucial. Public awareness campaigns ensure everyone knows how to stay safe. Action is needed at every level, from governments to individuals. Supporting local initiatives and conserving resources are key steps. The heat waves in France are a wake-up call. Decisive action is needed now.